Alrighty, hello again out there. We're on part 126. That's pretty cool. Today, as you can probably guess, we're gonna be hunting for tridents and trying to build a little bit of that castle at least too. But I have had a cool thought over the past couple of hours. So, remember last time we fully completed the mob switch. All 70 wardens are in place and they're in a cool little box doing cool little things. But you might notice we only have, or rather, you might remember, we only actually have one mob switch, like singular, and it also does load the catalyst farm too, but it loads it 2 chunks away instead of 3, which isn't technically an issue, but it's something we should try and alleviate. So um, here, let's show chunk borders here really quickly, and also just to specify, we're currently on day 1,600, or 1,600, my ass, sorry, 1,363. Spoke a little bit too quickly there, but either way, I want to see something really quickly while we still have a little bit of an early start right now. So we got some relatively flat space nearby, hopefully, but hey, welcome, Sunny. I'm trying to see if I can, I want to move that mob switch, but I have to make sure that this actually works on paper. So I need to get somewhere that's relatively flat, and hey, that's actually perfect. Alright, we're going to see if this works as a proof of concept. So let's say right here is where our mob switch is located, and then in a cardinal direction straight from it, 1 chunk, 2 chunks, and then 3 chunks, which this is where our wardens are stored. So this is where all of our wardens are stored, 3 chunks away, and then if we go out like 2 chunks right from here, which again, 1 chunk and then 2 chunks, this is where our catalyst farm is. So kind of just a rough relation. I'm not trying to do anything right now, but I'm just trying to prep out. I'm planning on moving a chunk loader just a little bit away, and I need to make sure that this actually would be a good idea. But so from what I remember, the lazy chunks are the outer 3. So the chunk over next to this one up here would also be a lazy chunk, for example. So this chunk would be a lazy chunk right here. So basically, what I'm thinking I do is I disassemble the chunk loader, and I reassemble it to the chunk next to it, right? So that way we get it disassembled, and then it goes. So this is 1 chunk. And then this is 2 chunks, and then this is our 3rd chunk, which means we could actually run the Skull Catalyst farm and the mob switch at the same time. As far as I can remember, the Catalyst farm is a if no mobs can spawn, extra wardens will still be able to spawn. It's kind of weird, but it's been a while. But oh, sweet. You're pretty much set then, honestly. That's really all you need is just a solid enough trading hall with something that really basic enchants, but that's really all you need. I should have shears. There we go. But yeah, this looks like this should work, so I'm just gonna take some time at the start to go move that mob switch over just by a single chunk. Not the mob switch, the actual chunk loader. We're just gonna move it over by 1 chunk, and then that means I can run the catalyst farm and also the the mob switch at the same time too. Which is important because, if I want extra catalysts, I don't want to go there and AFK for them. And you might remember too that to actually summon a warden, you gotta be there, but you kind of don't have to be. I'll explain it in a little bit when we actually have the resources for it. But there's a neat little trick you can do with just shooting an arrow at a piston and a skulk sensor, where you can make it so wardens will spawn every 10 seconds, but you don't have to be there for it. So it's pretty neat. Oh, it's probably not inherently a glitch, but yeah, I mean, if you because librarians sell glass and then the cartographers buy glass pane, so it creates that cool feedback loop. Especially if you cure the cartographers, and then there's also the one with the librarians that's you buy bookshelves from them, and then you break them apart to turn them into books, and then you sell the books back to them. But to do all that stuff, you gotta actually cure them at least once or twice. Not quite a glitch, but I remember it used to be a lot worse though. Ah, sweet. Either way, it's still pretty good. It's free money, you know? I should have all the materials I need for this, which what do I need? Probably just some extra space. Here, we're gonna reorganize a little bit there. Should be pretty good. Oh yeah, curing it twice. Pro tip, do it with the cartographers as well, because, you know, that's like where the real money's at. It's like ridiculously easy. I have got to start turning these into boxes at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it, unfortunately. But either way, it looks like we should be ready to get this redone, so might as well go for it. Shouldn't take too long, should only take like 10-20 minutes at most, because I don't actually have to do anything with the Warden parts of the either farm. Going ahead, -C. After we get this mob switch built, we're gonna go Trident hunting, so it's about time I finally got a hold of some Tridents, you know? I've been wanting to get a hold of those for ages, and I just haven't gotten around to it, so today's probably the perfect time to go for it. I need 3 of them. I need 1 for Riptide, 1 for, you know, loyalty, and then 1 for loyalty and channeling. Now, it sounds spooky right now, but there's a ton of wardens still in a pit, but it's still, like, completely safe and secure. So we're going to turn down hostile creatures a fair bit here, because they're going to get very loud. They won't try and attack me or nothing, but yeah, tridents are really good. Especially when it starts raining again, like, that'll be very nice to have, because, you know, I haven't had one of those in ages. But we hit F3G. You can see the chunk that we're in right now here, so we're at actually, if I drop down a single block, yeah, so we're at 188, -2, -69. And then we're facing towards positive Z, so that'll put us at like -71 should be where the other farm is. Say, welcome, Ferrix, how you doing? I'm just moving that mob switch over a little bit so we can actually farm Skull Catalyst while not even being here. That'll be pretty cool when it's done. Shouldn't take too long. I'm doing pretty good. I've just been kind of studying for my last final here in a couple of days, so other than that, I haven't really done a whole lot today. Now, we should be... We're in chunk 190, -68. There we go. So we need to be in chunk 187. Hang on, 190, -2, -68, just that way that's cleared up a little bit better. And then I have to go right down the other one, but also, what's the good news, by the way? Oh, you're pretty much set then, like, unironically, you really don't have anything to worry about anymore. Getting that kind of armor is really good. And then there should be a good spot I can build the new chunk loader. Guys, and I just have to move it over to the side, one chunk is all, but yeah, sweet. Yeah, once you get that kind of armor, like, hardcore is, like, significantly easier. It's still sketchy around certain things like Wardens or, like, Piglin Brutes or whatever, so don't over-rely on it. But, for the most part, like, against anything normal, like creepers, zombies, anything like that, you've really got nothing to worry about anymore. Another fortress moment. Imagine. I got really lucky and I just literally, like, spawned in mine, so I got ridiculously lucky with that at the start. Alright, let's do a recount. So this is where the catalyst farm is stored. This is where the Warden mob switch is stored. And I'm trying to think how I should even, like, attempt to go about this. This is the chunk we're in now, right? And then this is again where the switch is stored. Oh shit, I'm trying to think. Is this doable? It should just be doable. Yeah, all we should have to do is just move it over by like a chunk, right? Here, I kind of want to dig a straight line as well. We're gonna dig a straight line from here just to kind of see something. Wonder if I'll even stumble into anything at this rate. Answer is yes, but anything useful? No, this is just the other thing already. Let me see one other thing. Hang on, it goes there. I shouldn't have put those shears away, but like they don't really matter. This puts us in 69. This puts us in 68, and then it should just be like this way for the catalyst farm. It shouldn't take too terribly long, but I want to make sure I get this right. I had that issue, or I used to have that issue a lot, honestly, where they just would not want to pick up a profession for the life of them. Like, it got really frustrating after some point. I mean, seriously, they really are just dumbasses half the damn time. Best bit of advice is to just, like, if it's just, like, librarians, for example, that you're having an issue with, clear out all the lecterns, and then, like, reassign them one by one. And then like lock them in and all that. That's about the only thing I can suggest, because I've had to do that in the past and it's tedious, but it's about the only thing I could find that works. So I am having a really weird time trying to comprehend this right now. So all I need to do is, if we're going, if this is where it is, then we just need to go to -71. Which shouldn't affect it on the Z as well, so we could just do 188, -2, and then -71, because that means that our catalyst farm that we are at here would be 3 chunks away, which we want. But then our actual mob switch would also still just be 3 chunks away without being more than 2 and in an undesirable direction. Dang, my keyboard lagged out there a bit. So sorry, that one kind of took a while to wrap my head around, but just got to make sure it's done correctly. That's fair. I just always dumped like straight into like cartographer, like glass pane trades, honestly, because you know you can just trade for a glass with librarians after a certain point. That's all you really need. It's not too terrible, but still makes sense to like try and have multiple options. So when one of them's out, the other one can sell through. Torches down, there you go. Alright, so all we want to do is move this over to -71. Yep. Also gonna make some more torches here, shouldn't be too difficult. All this is just a like cut-through tunnel. This isn't going to be anything too flashy or nothing. We just basically need to get to another side is all. There we go. There's our chunk border here. That's good. Now I remember there was some funny business down there at some point, which is why this was actually like sealed off. However, luckily that doesn't seem to matter. So we're in 188, -2, -71, so perfect. And they're being stored up at Y0, so this shouldn't have any interference issues or nothing. So all we're gonna do is just dig out a fairly sizable space here, cover up some extra things, all that kind of good. Right after G. Now, the one in the nether should technically still just be able to remain the same, however, we might actually go out and move it, just to be sure, but yeah, it's not really a priority right now. There we go, that should be more than plenty of space, very good. That's right, the one in the nether is actually off right now. Alright, last obsidian, there we go. But basically, it literally is just go remake the chunk loader somewhere else, like that's about it. Oh, it shouldn't really be nothing too hard. There we go, still have a nice safe wool room just to have for shits and giggles. And we can go ahead and start building in the chunk loader, so yeah, shouldn't be anything too crazy. There we go, that's most of our glass already. There we go. And that's pretty much all of it done here, actually, so all that really needs to happen now is we just gotta seal off the inside here. And then it's literally just light the thing, and then we should be good to check some other things and go do something else really quickly, and then yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I better fucking not be out of wool. There is no shot in hell that I'm out of wool. I cannot believe that I've gone through all that shit. Hang on. I have some extra. I'm almost positive, yeah, I was about to say there is no shot in hell that I ran out. Not like that. And then we can put our dust back. And there we go, yeah. Yeah, all you do is cure a cartographer twice, and then you get it up to its second stage, right? So it's a second set of trades, and then it'll be one glass pane for an emerald. Like, they'll buy one glass pane, and then they'll give you an emerald for it. And you can do that 16 times before it gets locked out, and then if you have, like, multiple of them, oh, dude, it's nice. And they give a lot of experience, too, for it. Like, you can get to level 30 fairly quickly with just, like, I only run 8 of them, personally, but I'm planning on making more of them at some point, but 8 gets you by. Like, you really don't need more than 8 that are cured twice each. So it's pretty good, you know? I think that should do it. As far as I can tell, we're also gonna just want to grab the flint and steel here really quickly and check a couple of other things, but these should still link up. Not a guarantee that they do or don't, but hopefully they do. We're also going to write down the portal coords just in case. 3020, negative 19, negative 1123. We're also going to keep the lever on. We got our chest plate on, good. Yep. links back up to our chunk loader portal. Does this link back up correctly or no? It does. Cool. Alrighty. That's all we really needed to check. So technically it's fully operational and should be ready. Now there is actually still more work that needs to be done, but it's on other things. So what we're gonna want here, and this is a cool little trick in case anybody's interested in it, you want a piston, you want some sculk sensors, like just one sculk sensor, and then I should have a piston no I don't, because I used all of them, that's right, I forgot about that. I should be able to make one then. Iron, dust, that lever. I should also have cobblestone, there we go. I can make the wood. I should have the crafting table. There we go. Also, I like how it's like so like loud, it literally won't even load like some of the other noises because there's too many like wardens doing warden stuff. Alright, that should technically be it, so we're gonna put that away. We're taking the shears for right now. And we're gonna like tuck away certain things like some of this wood, for example. But this is just a really easy trick I learned from, I want to say it was an El Mango video, I'm pretty confident it was an El Mango video, but either way, for the Skull Catalyst farm, which the real reason, that's kind of the main reason why we actually went through all the effort to move the thing. So, if you didn't know, Sculpt Shriekers are triggered not just by like the player specifically, they can also get triggered by arrows that the player shoots, for example. So it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, sure. Enchants on my armor. Just normal helmet chance, so full prot 4 on breaking 3, mending, respiration, knock of affinity. Protection 4, mending and breaking 3 for the chest plate. For the leggings, protection 4, mending and breaking 3 and swift sneak 3. And then for the boots, feather falling 4, protection 4, mending, depth strider 3, and unbreaking 3. I've also got a second set of boots that just has all the enchantments on it, but instead of depth strider, it's got soul speed. And I've got a bunch of different helmets that instead of protection 4, they have like fire protection, blast protection, or projectile protection. But otherwise, I only own one chest plate and I only own one pair of leggings, so. But yeah, you only need like a couple enchants to get like everything you could ever get one out of it. But we're gonna do that little bit of maintenance work really quickly. I should probably dig something to go through or under. I don't want to just keep breaking that hopper each time because it's an actual like nice cut through. But there's again a very simple thing you can do here with we'll maybe go the actual correct way for this, and I'm gonna hide the F3 here. That seems kind of sketchy. But yeah, basically you just shoot an arrow at a piston, and then you make it so it'll like kind of go in between the sensor and everything else. I don't know, I'll explain it here in a bit. I just want a couple of things in place first. And I want some wool. And then I need some wool on the underside. Because this is like really easy stuff, but so our piston would go in place there, for example, right? And then all it boils down to is we then put a sculpt sensor in the box there. And then we're gonna bail on out of here. And that should actually be the whole thing done, or all we really need for it. So basically what happens now is, as far as I remember, so if you stand on the Shrieker, it'll of course, like, you know, start getting ready to summon the Warden, but it also counts if you shoot an arrow. So if we make some noise here by shooting this arrow, pretty sure that was a thing. Huh. What the fuck? Oh, it literally just won't because of all the other Wardens, will it? Well, slight flaw. This literally will not work anymore because we have those other Wardens so close. Oh, they gotta be close enough for it to detect, right? But if you see, it's still a Shrieker that can summon and all that, but for whatever reason, it just will not fucking do it. So dang, I guess the Catalyst farm doesn't even work, so I'd have to go rebuild it a third time. It's kind of weird. It's still a natural Shrieker, and again, you can like tell this really easy with the can't summon tag over here, but from what I can remember, it also won't do anything if it says that there's like Wardens that are too close. Within like, what was it, like 32 block radius or whatever, and where they're actually being stored is probably only about like 20 something blocks away, so oops. We don't actually have a working Skull Catalyst farm anymore. That's a shame. Oh well, not too big of a deal, luckily. If I really need more Skull Catalysts, I actually have, out in that direction, I actually have a couple of backup like Shulkers I left intact just in case something like that would happen. Which, you know, can't run a Catalyst farm at the same time, unfortunately, but that does actually work if there aren't 70 Wardens nearby, but whatever, it's no big deal. Oh well. I don't really need all the catalysts. I've already got like over a stack anyway, so it's honestly like hell, we've even got the one in there still, but definitely was a waste of hoppers then at that point. And there's no way I'm gonna try moving the Wardens out of the way too with like pistons or something, because that would just be a disaster waiting to happen. So they're locked in as is. As far as I'm concerned, it's not my problem anymore, so that's a shame, but it is what it is. We're gonna tuck some of this old junk away. And I'm gonna put these shears away. And then we'll go start the chunk loader in the nether, and then we should be good to go. Wait, you're playing on hardcore, right? I'm pretty sure you said you were playing on hardcore. You can, because to be honest, the armor is only going to save you like an extra hit or two from Wardens. Technically, you could, and honestly, you really might as well. You don't need a whole lot of materials, but you do need to like build it a couple of times in creative, because you really do not want to like mess it up, because you're not going to be able to really like easily disarm it without some extra like equipment. Yeah, no, you could build it in hardcore like really early on. That's kind of like the funny part of it. It's like probably the fastest like mob switch you could probably build, because all you have to do is go find a Shrieker, go like hollow out the area around it, go make that like platform that they can spawn on, and that like those note block like learning machines, all that kind of stuff. But no, you could build it ridiculously quickly. So I think the most expensive thing I want to say would be like the probably just the sheer abundance of wool you might want to have, or you know, obsidian might actually be the most expensive thing between that and the observers technically, but it's like the chunk loader is like 6 things, and then just like an item that goes in it to actually like keep it working. So we should have a working chunk loader here. I forgot to turn this switch on, but oh well. We'll go do that really quickly. That also means I'll be able to check and see if that other thing actually works, but yeah, no, honestly, I'd go for it, you know. Oh no, it synced to the wrong one now because I ended up moving it. Fuck. Oh shit. Best XP farm. I still want to say like zombie pigman farms are considered the best right now, but other than that, I would not particularly know, honestly. And this isn't awesome. My chunk loader is not correct at the moment, which is an issue. I guess I really shouldn't have moved it, huh? Well, looks like I might have to disassemble the one in the nether. What? They still link? Wait, what the hell? Where the hell did it go then? It probably popped up my actual like nether portal. There's a high chance it popped out the actual nether portal in there. Or it just got deleted and wiped away out of all existence. That's not cool at all either. Is it down here? No. Not in any of these. What the fuck? Where did it go? Oh, Enderman Farm's fairly solid too. I don't think I'd ever build one because I really don't trust the, I don't know, I really don't trust it, you know? Mainly the, we're just gonna build the new chunk loader, like at a different set of coordinates just so it's lined better or whatever, but I don't know, I never really trusted like Enderman Farms, honestly. Like, they're fine, but I don't like having actually go out of my way to build them in the, you know, nether because I don't trust myself, honestly. 378. And then we want 1123 divided by 8. We do 140. Alrighty, there we go. I mean, Enderman farms are fine, but honestly go for like Guardian farms if you can. Because they're honestly like that much better. Oh, time to disassemble this portal really quickly. Bit unfortunate, but shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing I'm most worried about is falling into the void. Is fun fact about the void, it's like one of the only like sources of damage in the entire game that won't like activate a totem. So, you know, normally a bad idea. Like once you fall into the void, like at all, like unless you like electrify out like ridiculously fast, and you might not even be able to do that. If you don't, it's just over. Like the totem will not pop, you know. The only other way to like gain HP back quickly enough is like enchanted golden apples or like regular ones until it buys you enough time, but otherwise it's just, you know, you're out of luck. And it's really not cool. 378, 140. Alright, let me be quick here. I've only got a couple of minutes until those things despawn, and I kind of want those. There we go. Dang, thank you, YouTube. Very cool. There we go. And it all must be good here. Hopefully I don't have to rebuild this again. I'll say, hey, welcome Eli, how you doing? I'm working on rebuilding this chunk loader for the 80 billionth time because I tried moving it because I thought I could run a catalyst farm next to a thought I could run a catalyst farm and the mob switch at the same time. Turns out the shrieker won't even work anymore because there's too many wardens too close by, so that's a little bit of a shame, but otherwise it's not too big of a deal. It's definitely a little bit goofy though. Do that. I think that should do it with everything. So all I need to do is light the portal here really quickly, and then we're gonna double check that these should synchronize back up correctly. Otherwise, it should be good. Also, give me a moment here. There we go. Yeah, I've made that mistake before on Bedrock Edition 2. It's like one of the most unfortunate mistakes, honestly. It would be really useful to be able to do stuff above the Nether on Bedrock, but you can't. And they've said that they're never gonna like. Please don't be in a weird spot. Okay, no, we're good. They said they've never gonna fix it too because it's like technically still a bug. It's just too integral to like Java Edition, so I don't want to. Dude, really fucking not synced up correctly after all that. Come on. Alright, I wanna... Oh wait, there we go. Okay, that looks like that's linked up correctly. We're gonna pop through, and also it should still just be on, but we're gonna pop through the Nether, double check all this stuff again through my main Nether portal to make sure all that's linked up correctly. I really shouldn't have moved it in hindsight, but it was just like extra time and effort for literally no payoff, unfortunately. Hey, there's where that redstone block went. Now, hopefully this should still be synced up correctly. Nothing in here moved. I shouldn't be in the chunk loader portal. Yeah, we're good. And then that gets locked, and then we put that away in there. Now all we've done here basically is we've got a we've just got like a nice little like chunk loader. I moved it when I really shouldn't have, but no harm, no foul. So yeah, this is just a well, this is just a chunk loader. It's got a matching like counterpart in the overworld, and basically all it does is in a 7x7 square around it, it keeps all the appropriate chunks loaded, which normally isn't too big of a deal, but that means that you could run farms like from anywhere in the world without having to be directly next to them. And that's also very important in this case specifically because if you have a chunk loader next to like 70 wardens, which, you know, 70 wardens is a lot, but if you have a chunk loader next to 70 wardens, you basically just permanently disable like hostile mobs from spawning anywhere else in the world as long as that chunk loader is on. So it that's what I ended up spending yesterday doing. I fixed up some of the chunk loading stuff and the mob switch because I made a horrible mistake with it and they were dying to entity cramming, so I had to rework that and kill like 20 something wardens with like suffocation damage. But you know, now that it's been like fully done now, because I was gonna have it also double as my catalyst farm, but it seems like I have to move that somewhere else. But pretty cool, you know. Yeah, it's still really good. So we're still in where is it? Here it is. Yeah, we're still like locked into hardcore, you know, hearts are still the same, still locked into hard, all that good shit. But, and I don't think it's gonna be nighttime yet, but even if it is, you won't see like any hostile mobs, so you notice the entity count, this is normally at about like a little less than like 200, but it's coasting at about 300 right now. This is the total number of entities that are currently loaded. And, you know, it's very inflated because of those wardens. So they count towards the mob cap of 70, which means that once that thing is filled, no other hostile mobs will spawn. So they count towards that mob cap, but they don't actually despawn either. So the only other things that do that are like shulkers, for example, and like zombie villagers that you traded with while they were villagers, and then you zombify them. And those are like the only like couple of things that actually do this, other than wardens. So basically, we're not ever gonna see a, but which we kind of can't even have on right now because I need to go out and go look for tridents. But I guess we'll take some time to go reorganize some stuff really quickly. But yeah, it's just good for building. Honestly, that's about it. If I want to build in like relative peace and quiet and not have to worry about phantoms or nothing, then that's what that thing is there for, and it makes my base like infinitely safer. But the problem is I need tridents, so it's not even too useful at this moment in time, as I need tridents still. And I need to start reorganizing all these boxes. Which this is gonna take a while. Oh shit, this is gonna take a while. Great. At least that one's all cobbled deep slate. That one's an easy one. I guess we'll just do some stuff. Yeah, exactly. It would do that. Or as far as I'm aware, it would do that. It would just keep all of your farms running. I personally would read up on that a bit more because I don't know what I'm talking about, but as far as I can tell, it would keep like any farm near it like loaded and running all the time. Although, actually, it might not quite be. I don't think mobs farms would actually work though, because for actually like mobs to spawn, they can only spawn within like 128 like block sphere like around you. And if you're any farther than that from them, then they won't spawn. So I think that's not something you can actually use them for, unfortunately. Because now that I'm sitting there and thinking about that. But things like you know, like sugarcane farms or honey farms or shulker farms are another one too. Iron farms are a pretty good one, but just natural like hostile mob farm, there's nothing for it, unfortunately. But either way, it's not too bad. I just build mine like close to my base anyways, and then like anything that doesn't need to be close to my base, I could probably have in its own separate area where it's always loaded, just for convenience. All right, so this one is a different box. We can keep some of the valuable things in there. So we'll like put the catalyst away into there, for example. Another one, we'll put the sensor away too. Alrighty, I guess let's go ahead and get started on tearing all this stuff out, getting everything reorganized. So this was its own separate thing that I should not be touching, because that's how I'm actually going to be repairing the shit, what is it called? I forgot what it was called. The Wither Rose farm, that's right. That's what I'm going to be using for the Wither Rose farm, so I don't want to mess with that. But everything else is fair game, so we're just going to start kind of dumping everything away. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. Mainly just put redstone in the redstone box, all that other good shit, and then when it's nighttime we'll go out and look at the lack of everything. That's right, this one needs to also kind of go away, because this one is just the shears for the Wither Rose farm, so this needs to stay as its own thing. Here we go. We're gonna dump that away into there for right now. Uppers and rails. And yeah, I need to get better organizational skills at some point. I'm still doing pretty solid on it, but it always just, you really have to like sit down and take time for this kind of stuff to actually be able to sort everything. So it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. And some of the excess things I don't like really need to use. I just kind of like end up burning, so never even really times. Like those spare signs, for example, will probably get burned. Like some of this copper, iron, granite, this random piece of stone. I want the obsidian though. Really should have a burn chest. And like some of this other like random shit too, like the 4 deep slate and 2 gravelettes here that can go away. And I need that valuable ore box. Where is it? There we go. Oh, it's absolutely possible. It's a little bit weirder now, or not weirder. It's actually even more doable than it used to be from what I can remember because you weren't able to sort out like non-stackable items before, but the LAs come along and now you can now everything's fair game as far as I can understand, which that's pretty neat. But you could already sort full stacks of items and stacks of items that only go up to 16. You could already do those with traditional item sorters. It was just non-stackable item sorters that were like a lot weirder. But now even then those are like completely doable, which is pretty neat. Yeah, you could literally have like a double chest full of shulkers of like every item in the game, and it would all be like automatically sorted for you. Which I think that's one of the other like big projects I want to try and work on at some point, is being able to get to that point. So I think it would be kind of cool. I have one that's just glass, right? No, I don't anymore. Really? Oh. It wasn't the one. Okay. Good. Here's our glass. I know that I have another glass box like actually on my base that I need to go use. We're gonna put this away in here for right now. So things like some of this string and like some of this other random shit, we can just go ahead and like put away in here and just go throw out in the ocean a little bit later. Because it's really not too important, honestly. The soul sand goes in its own separate thing I gotta remember to put away. Could have some good greenery boxes. There we go. I had another pair of shears. Yeah, that would be pretty good. And another layer on top of that, though, is if you get a hold of a Shulker box farm, or, Shulker shell farm, I guess. Like I have all these shells that I could be using to turn into boxes. So what I could do is I could make it so, you also have, like, Shulker box loaders for every item as well. Which that would be really neat. But that thing in and of itself would be a fucking, like, marvel to build. And it'd be a real pain in the ass to make, too. So I'm still looking into that. I really want that to be possible, but I just know that it's an absolute nightmare to between like actually either finding a tutorial for it, or if I can't find one, which odds are there's a good chance I won't. I'll have to like figure out how to actually like make a good chunk of it by myself. There's definitely like some parts I can use like tutorials with, but for the most part I have a feeling I might have to like jerry rig it all together by myself, and we'll see how that goes. Shouldn't be impossible, but it's definitely going to be difficult. There should be a nice box I can use for this tough. We're just going to take out everything that isn't tough out of here. Also, give me a second. Yep, there we go. Let's see, we got the extra wool. We'll also get rid of this stuff for right now. Oh dang, I'll see you later then, Elijah. Thanks for stopping by. Oh shit, what else was there? There's gotta be more. But not gotta be, there is more. I hate having to sort this crap out. I really do. I really should go for that sorting system. I really gotta start making stuff like that again, because I haven't actually had like a nice farm to work on in a while, and this would be one of those things that's like genuinely useful to have. Actually get some good mileage out of it. Trying to think, I should have a box of cobblestone or something. Here we go. There's tough again. Here we go. And get the rest of this shit done. And then we'll go look for everything else. But hey, welcome Bean, how you doing? Just doing some reorganizing for right now. Because I've been neglecting this yet again for a very long time, and I'm starting to not be able to neglect it anymore. I'll just tuck some of that leftover cobble deep slate in these slabs in a different one. We'll sand can go somewhere else. Okay, I think that's mostly everything. Or it's most of what we actually had to put away. There's still like a lot that needs to go now. And even then, that wasn't even all of it. Shit. That one with oak logs, there we go. There we go. Alright, my keyboard is being wacky again. Really don't appreciate when it does that, but at the same time, can't do a whole lot about it, unfortunately. Really should try and go achievement collecting, but I don't really want to for a while, honestly. It's just kind of not really worth it. Bones in them, but otherwise easier to find to resort. This is just moss. can go in its own greenery box. Just mud. With packed mud in it, but you know what, it still counts. I'm putting mud in with the greenery because I feel like it. You got some more grass, but also some other weird things, like why do I have 37 blocks of emerald in here? Not to mention a Riptide 3 book and a fucking Shulker shell. That is an awful mismatch of just weird shit. There's dirt and a Shulker shell in there, and also, hey random, how you doing? Welcome. I'm just doing some reorganizing right now because I've been neglecting this for a little while, so about time I got all this stuff fixed. Bone blocks, there we go. I'm doing pretty good. Just been trying to get this stuff done for the past, what, 10 minutes by now, would I say? Something like that. Not to mention I still have a ton of stuff that needs to be reorganized here. But it's been a little bit of a pain, unfortunately. This stuff takes a while to do. I got too much stuff and I don't have a big enough like storage area yet. Well, I still have a massive storage area, I just don't like make as many shulker boxes as I should, honestly. Actually, we're nearly good here. We've only got a couple of boxes worth of junk left. Emerald, there we go. Put that away. There's these brown one with some wood stuff I can use. Here we go. We can tuck away some of that excess scaffolding, sticks away as well. And these planks and signs. That one's dirt. That one can be put away, it's just gunpowder at the moment. Can I even probably condense one of these? I guess, yeah, I can condense these into the same one. Good. Give me a second here. There we go. Oh no, I don't mind doing a tour at all. It just, fair warning, it might take me a little bit, because again, I really have been putting this stuff off for a while, but yeah, I don't mind giving a world tour. I've actually gotten quite a good bit done over the past couple of days, so... Although it's gonna look a little bit cursed, because if it's nighttime, you'll notice that there's gonna be like no hostile mobs. I ended up making a mob switch with Wardens the past couple of days, so I actually have that on right now just to flex it, and I'm gonna turn it off here in a bit anyway, because I need to go hunt for Tridents here soon, but I might as well use it. Let's see, what do we got? More cobbled deep slate. A lot of it, actually. It's gonna have to be its own box again. I didn't think I was gonna have to do that, but that's fine. I have a spare dark gray. Yeah, there we go. Means we can take one of these out. I've got diamond ores just everywhere. I've got quite a lot of them actually now. Get rid of this copper. A lot of this other stuff can just go too, except for the tuff. I want that. Everything else I'm just gonna go throw in the ocean, honestly. Carrots I want. The goat horn, something unique. I want to keep that. We'll put those up in there. Let's see, that's empty. Good. Got some cobble deep slate that can go away again. Believe it or not, no. It's been almost 1,400 days and I haven't even been able to hit a single trident yet, so unfortunately I'm still just massively out of luck with it. But I am going to be working on that today too after I give that world tour. Jesus, I have so much like diamond ore, man. It's just like thrown away in like random like chests too. I just keep forgetting that I have it and I don't want to like reorganize it then, but then I never end up reorganizing it, so very cursed to see it just laying around. So these skull catalysts that need to go somewhere else. Should actually have a box full of skulk bits. Yeah, there we go. Got more than a stack. Now, I know I had an additional like 30 something somewhere. Or like 25. I don't know what I did with them. I don't think I put them away yet either. Here they are. Coal, obsidian. The gilded blackstone I only saved because I thought I might want it, but I really don't, so they'll just go somewhere else. I'm gonna recondense that bone meal into bone blocks, so that should save me a good bit of space as well. So I need to throw it to the ocean. Have my scaffolding block still, should have enough space for this. And I need to put this away to know to keep it. I don't want to be getting rid of frog lights. This is the wrong one. This is the right one that needs to go. There we go. Oh, are all these bone meal? That'd be great. Yes, nice. Well, that one's an easy put away. We got 7 then. That's all moss. That's moss and grass, so we can condense one of these. Oh, the moss one. And you know what, we'll just keep some of this extra moss stuff anyways. I don't want to keep running that farm ever again, honestly. I really hate running that moss farm because it takes a while. It doesn't take too long, but long enough to be just annoying, you know. Is that another easy bone meal one? Hopefully. Nice. I guess I had a lot more of this stuff than I remembered. That's good. I'm always gonna need more of it, honestly. Alright, this is where it starts getting kind of bad again. I know one of these is empty. There we go. This one we can just kind of knock out of the way. That one's just grass and more grass. Alright, we're nearly done here, so sorry about that little delay, but luckily it's nearly over. This was all nether stuff, I remember, because I had to actually go trade for, oh, what was it? It was soul speed. I had to go trade for that, like, big time, and I ended up filling up a couple of boxes worth of stuff out of it. Gotta have some animal product stuff, yep. So, leather, the quartz can go in the redstone one. Got soul speed 1 still, which that's neat and all, but the old iron boots we're probably just gonna toss as well because they're genuinely cool. And pretty much everything else from here we can probably toss. It just doesn't have a whole lot of use, you know. String away there, and the extra leather. Is there anything in here I'd want to keep? Probably the soul sand. I don't have to go out and mine as much next time. The iron boots can go. The soul speed book, even if it's just soul speed. Even if it's just soul speed 1, I still kind of need it. I'll keep a stack of spectral arrows. And the soul sand again. But otherwise, I think I really can get away with just burning the rest of that. Like, it's just not worth keeping after a certain point because it just kind of stuffs, up on my inventory a fair bit. Not actually really giving me anything. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and like burn all this. Another brick, good. Alright, and these are the last two big things. This one is just weird. Got a bunch of raw blocks of shit. And no space to put any of it too, because the actual correct box is somewhere else. The raw. The fuck? Wait. It's gotta be hidden behind this one or something. Oh, it's up here. Oh, dumbass moment. Oh well. That away in there. We got some netherrack that can be burned. Some wood. Let's see here. They put that away to actually keep. Everything else in here can just be burned and thrown away. That's still the animal byproducts. And here's like another actual box. And the rest of this stuff can just be burned. I want to keep that. Alright, and with that, it should be everything pretty much reorganized. Except for those skulls that I completely forgot about. And this other stuff too that I also seem to have just forgot about. Damn it. Really wanted to be done with this. I hate having to reorganize all this stuff, but it's something important that has to happen, unfortunately. Got a little bit too much shit. Man, they take a long time, honestly, so the best advice I can give is just get comfortable because... Oh, and I fucking forgot I saw this house that I still disassembled. Damn it. But yeah, just get comfortable with villagers, like as in, it's gonna take a long time, so just, you got as much time as you need, honestly, but it still really does suck to have to deal with them, to be honest. Here's that diorite one. That one's filled to the brim, though. Here's some terracotta one. Here we go. Alrighty. And the, wither skulls need to go, and an actual generic valuables. There we go. I need to get those water buckets out of there at some point. Stuff that I can just burn or get rid of in some other way. Gravel's not all too important at the moment. Now I can use it for concrete powder, but then it's not really too big of a deal. There we go. Alright, with that, I'm gonna just ignore this one and act like it's not actually real. Because it might as well not be, to be honest. It was just some stuff to build a house with that ended up not going through, so we'll just kind of keep this in its own, like, weird miscellaneous one that I don't really care about. That it's already sorted, but it's something that I'm not really too concerned with. with that, it should be everything all done and sorted away. Finally, we still do have some weirdo shit like those spectral arrows, for example, but those are more of a novelty item. Deep slate. Basically all stones except for this one down here, which I can just keep on me. Tuck those away. There we go. I don't have an auto sorting system yet, unfortunately. Another trick for villagers too, by the way, is just put all their beds in one like area and just like ring a bell a bunch of times, and they'll like want to go to their beds like immediately. It's you can also use like their workstations to force them to pathfind, but yeah, I don't have an auto sorting system yet, which I really should get a hold of one, but I just don't yet because if I make one, I'm gonna make like one that sorts like every single item in the game kind of big, so I'm kind of holding off on that until that happens. I just haven't had a massive need for it yet. Because it don't take too long to sort some of this stuff out by hand, but it definitely can get a little bit tedious, but yeah, it's pretty much everything, so yeah, it's cool. Everything's actually good in my inventory. I want some fireworks really quickly. There we go. We'll just take the whole stack, why not? And we should be good. So, a couple of things to note. It's nighttime, and from what I remember, the mob switch is still on. So, just to flex it, it's still on. We're just going to do a quick little, like, fly around. But, yeah, I guess I can do a little bit of a world tour. So, this is my base. I live on this island, and I'm currently working on adding a couple of more structures to it, like, mainly just that castle on top of that mountain and, like, in the mountain. And then I have to do a bunch of interior decoration and exterior work as well, like more like greenery stuff. Like I want to plant a forest, and I need to make all these different rooms inside of these different buildings. But once it's all done, it's all decorated, I'm gonna be bringing in villagers to like live in here and all that. And it's just gonna be pretty cool because I actually feel like a living, breathing island. So like I'll still have like a big chunk of this island just for myself, where they won't be able to get in, but they'll be able to walk around the whole thing. But yeah, we got a cool tree, a cool handmade mountain. This mountain range, it's still like a massive work in progress, but it's still really cool. Let me turn up the video settings really quickly. I kind of have to turn it up pretty big to see all of it, but yeah, it goes up to about 267, and then ocean level is like 65 or 63, so it's just big. And it's very cool, I still have to work on the outside of it as well, and I still have a couple of more things that need to be built along here, but it's pretty good so far. Nothing too stellar, but definitely not too bad at all. And directly behind me, we also have a massive wheat farm. This was when I was prepping for 1.19, and I just needed like a ton of wheat, make packed mud, which I never ended up really making a lot of anyways. We got like a little tree farm area down here, and we'll go to the Gigabase first, just because I want to show off that like literally nothing is able to spawn right now because of that mob switch. So, despite all this stuff being unlit, there's nothing on it. Normally, there's a lot on it, and especially up here in the thing that we're coming into right now. So this is the Gigabase here in a moment, but basically it's going to be a 256 block diameter sphere that goes from ocean level all the way to world height, and it's going to have an entire city going from bottom to top when it's all said and done, so that'll be pretty neat. But because this whole thing is unlit and it's the only solid ground for like miles like in the ocean, normally this thing would be packed to the brim with mobs, but again, because of that mob switch, we ain't gotta worry about anything. But yeah, bottom half is going to be made out of red terracotta, and the top half is going to be made out of glass. 50 shulker boxes of each material, and it's a hell of a lot of time to build this thing. I haven't touched it since like mid-April because I got burnt out of it big time, and I had other stuff I wanted to finish up in my real base first. So this is just like a really big like end game project where at some point I'm gonna run out of things to do. So then this is like a good fallback plan, but It'll be pretty cool when it's done, you know? It's just massive and it's actually gonna be filled with stuff and things to do in it instead of just being a cool, like, empty structure. But it'll be pretty neat when it's done. In my actual base too, we have a couple of like multi-purpose farms because I tend to need a lot of certain things, so I build them close to my base. So we've got a gunpowder and string farm. It's not producing right now, mainly just because of the fact that that mob switch is on, so it won't actually really be functional. Like the farm itself still works, it just can't spawn any like creepers or spiders right now. But that is where I've gotten all my gunpowder. I've emptied it out recently, but I've got like 7 shulker boxes of gunpowder, so pretty hefty amount. We've got the iron farm here, which actually still does work even with the mob switch on. Again, I've emptied this one out fairly recently too, but I didn't really empty out all the poppies because I don't want to empty them. Although I really should, but yeah, there's just a ton of poppies in there, and then we got some actual like iron too, but for the most part, I took a lot of the iron out with me. So pretty good. In fact, you can even hear him dying up there. Over here, we have the fully automatic shulker shell farm. Game lagged a little bit there. So this is how I've been actually getting a hold of all my shulker boxes. It's only about like half a stack an hour, maybe, something like that. But it's enough to where like you just sit on it and you just kind of like constantly have it running and it's gonna like produce a lot over enough time, which is always still really nice to have. The only other issue is actually turning them into shulker boxes, but we caught a couple of allays about a month back. I can duplicate them if I really want to because I have like a geode like right under my house. This is still technically my house, but it's like very bare bones. Like we have like a small like enchanting room there. We've got like a small potion making room here. And then otherwise it's just kind of empty space and stone walls. And then we've also got a storage system here and a lava farm underneath it to actually fuel the thing. That was always pretty nice to have. Just a big, it's like 128 cauldrons, so it's a lot. And it's intentionally a lot because that's how I got all my glass for that, that sphere. Was by smelting like 50 shulker boxes worth of sand. So I needed a ton of fuel to actually fuel it, but yeah, we've got a double chest of shulker shells, and we're working on a second one of shulker shells too. And then how this works too for my sorting area is just basically, the colors do actually have meaning. So like red are like red blocks or like red stone, netherrack, poppies. White is like things like glass, iron, wool. So that nature, snow is another one. Pink is for like valuables, so like the gunpowder, for example, or the amethyst shards, or some of the skulk blocks that I really want to value, that kind of stuff. And that's also where, again, a lot of my gunpowder is gone, so yeah, quite a huge chunk of it. Now, animal products, non-stackables, ocean blocks, like greenery things like bone meal, like, saplings, all that kind of stuff, and dyes, different kinds of stones, nether stuff that I haven't really had a chance to fill up yet, and stuff that I don't really ever need a lot of. Just some spare shulkers of totem boxes, because in case I ever need them, I have them. Light blocks. I forgot this was in here. We're gonna burn that later, but I also need to reorganize that later. But I'll do that another day. I'm not too interested in it right now. And then if we go down, I was working on digging a hole from like about here all the way down to bedrock, so I could actually like fill it with stuff. But yeah, you're good. And thanks for the follow, random. Appreciate it. But you're good. Use lava in a blaze farm. They're actually good now. Or they don't take nearly as much to make anymore. I need to like dismantle this cactus farm. This thing has been overproducing. I don't need it anymore. I need to start actually putting in stuff for the bee farm too. I haven't had to run that thing in like weeks, if not months at this point. Because there just hasn't been a reason to. I want to get back to digging this hole at some point as well. It's actually kind of getting along. Still doing good on slime. I'm going to go turn off the mob switch really quickly. And also, I'll go show off the actual wardens that are in there too, just because, but I don't like being around them, fair warning, so we won't be there for too long, if at all. I really don't want to risk dying to them. They're like they're all completely like contained, but it's that sonic boom attack that still hits you through walls and stuff that I don't want to be anywhere near. But yeah, it's pretty good. Glad I finally got that thing built. And we'll just pop over into the nether really quickly. And go turn off the chunk loader and then go look at the wardens. Because they're all like safely contained, I might as well, right? Oh, my book, yeah, alrighty. I want to try getting like physical infrastructure again up here with like ice boat roads. I have a ton of them underneath my base, or underneath like the actual like nether. But I want some on the nether roof, honestly. It'd be pretty good. But yeah, this is the area that I use for warden stuff. So basically, this is just a simple little chunk loader that passes an item through a nether portal, which keeps these chunks in the nether loaded, and it keeps the corresponding chunks in the overworld loaded too. But now it's currently off, just so I can, you know, not only have the mob switch off, but I also need to do other things anyways. Because mainly we're going to be going Trident hunting after this, so I kind of need it off to actually be able to, you know, go get drowned. But yeah, this was the output chest for the catalyst farm that does not work because of the mob switch, unfortunately. So the catalyst farm is non-functional, which is a shame because I spent all that time building it, but it just won't work because the Shrieker won't activate with all the wardens like that. At least I'm pretty sure it won't. But yeah, this is the matching counterpart here in the overworld that keeps the mob switch loaded at 3 chunks away, so they're all in lazy chunks. And if we go down through here, we should be fine. I'm keeping an eye on the subtitles as I'm like speaking here too, but we're close enough for it to start giving the darkness effect, so it's always important to kind of keep an eye on these things and not try and get too close, you know? Because all it takes is one particularly bad move, and I'd probably piss off like 40 of them at least. Yeah, you can see the Shrieker won't go off even if the other thing is still, even if the mob switch is off, so... Fortunately, I built their, like, containment area too close to here, and they don't want to spawn anymore, but... What can you do? And I could do something about it, but I just will not, so, you know, it's not ever gonna happen. But yeah, I could rewire this, kind of. I think ooh, that actually could be kind of smart. I've got a small idea. I'm not sure how viable it is, but I don't think it would be impossible. But I'm pretty sure what I could do is, if we hit F3G, this is still contained in the chunk over here. I could make another tube that just goes down instead of up, because this Shrieker still works to like produce wardens, because that kind of has to be able to like fuel the like 70 that are up there in that area. But what I can do is drop them all the way like down like quite a bit, and then, you know, have them die to entity cramming like what we already have. And then once they die to entity cramming, then, you know, all you gotta do is just funnel their drops like all the way over to the chest area. That's actually not even anything too impossible. So no, we could probably still get it to work again. It's just gonna be a little bit weirder, but I don't think it's impossible. And what we're doing now is just heading up to go look at it. So it's gonna get kind of loud if it isn't already, which it definitely is. And I kind of need to actually like pay attention here specifically because Warden takes no— of what, motherfucker? There is nothing to take notice of. I'm on rule. Oh, they take notice of— they still just take— I think they just take notice of everything else. I think we're gonna start sneaking here just to be safe. But everything here is wool. I think it just is weird with some of the edges of like wool blocks, so we're gonna just sneak here. But yeah, we've got like 70 of them here contained. So, you know, we're out of here. All I needed to see. But yeah, basically they're all just contained in that pit right there, and they're all lured by like that note block noisemaker up top. So when they're lured by that, then you know, we actually can keep them from despawning, because they won't despawn if they're lured by a noise, but they still count towards the mob cap. Which if they count towards the mob cap but can't despawn, then no other hostile mobs will be able to spawn. And as long as we keep them in a chunk loader too, which is what that other thing was, like way out in the distance. But as long as we keep them loaded with a chunk loader, then we also don't have any issues with that either. But this Shrieker would still work for what we need, so all I would have to do is construct a separate tube here that would just go down into the ground or something, and then, you know, it would drop in like 30 blocks or whatever, or how long it, or probably like 40, honestly. I wouldn't be able to build at 40. I think it's it might be too low. It's at 33. Yeah, it might be too low to comfortably do, unfortunately. I'll have to read up on it a bit more, but I think they need like 32 like blocks of space for them to be able to spawn, so, or like 32 blocks away from like the nearest warden as well, so we'd have to rework it a fair bit, but it's still doable. Oh, we could just push into a separate lazy chunk. We really need to. We push them down and out of the way into a separate lazy chunk, but here, welcome. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can redesign that to also have that catalyst farming place. I really want to be able to farm them, but I don't want to have to go anywhere else for it either, so it'll be a little bit weird. And we're just gonna head back. See, but I don't really have to worry about that though. I locked them all away, and I'm usually careful about that kind of stuff. They're not too bad anymore, but still, I really don't like being around them. But we're just gonna go hunt for tridents for probably a couple of hours, honestly, because it's gonna take a while to actually find some Duran that spawn with them. I have Bedrock Edition, yeah, but I don't really play on it at all anymore, just because, you know, I just don't, honestly, so. No, not like Bedrock, like the item, no. Come on. You can technically get Bedrock in Survival. I don't know if they ever patched that, but I remember that technically being a thing. You had to do some like ridiculously complicated like redstone stuff to do it, but it is technically doable, but it's a bug and, you know, not intended, but you can still do it. I won't ever be trying to do that kind of stuff, though. That would take just a massive amount of time, but something interesting. I'm also looking for a nice river biome, because I want to try and get a hold of some Duran. I wonder if I'll have to wait until like nighttime for it or something. This is a plains for some reason. Here's a river. A flower forest somehow, that's kind of cursed. I could probably just seal this stuff off with like dirt or something and then just go under there. But I need to actually be able to find a good place for Duran to spawn. $24 enchanted golden apple, not too bad. You can find a lot of them in ancient cities nowadays, so it's not quite as much of a flex, but still takes quite a while to actually get a hold of that many. I need to get more too at some point, honestly. Let's see what else we got. I've only got 3 of them. I'm only like keeping them for like really big emergencies because they're kind of hard to get. Not hard, but I want to I have to go out and find like ancient cities to go get more, and I've tried doing that, and it's just a pain in the ass to go out and look for them. Takes a long time. I'll just dismantle this because why not? Anything else? Oh, there is like an easy trick you can do to find some like relatively often. You just go to like a new like 1.18 mountain biome, and that's pretty much about it. Honestly, you just go to one of those, and you just go like straight down more or less. It works pretty often. I found 2 so far just by doing that, so it's not really too bad. There we go. Need all this grass and dirt because I'm going to try and cover up this river here, so that way it hopefully is a lot darker. It's at a, like, what was it? I think it was -56, but either way, that's like that's just the height that they spawn. You still have to kind of be in like the correct like biome for it to happen, which is the deep dark or whatever, but it's a matter of finding it, that's a problem. It takes a long time to find that stuff. But drowned only spawn in rivers, oceans, and other dripstone caves. That's what it was too. That was the other one. And they only really tend to spawn when it's like dark, so either nighttime or just like in a dark area. So what I'm planning on doing here is just kind of like making a bunch of grass in this river and basically just artificially cutting it off, and then make it all dark down here, and we should be able to get a lot more drowned to spawn even during the daytime. I took the hope for it anyways. I guarantee this is gonna work. I can technically just make like a Trident farm, but considering it's a one-use thing, I really don't want it, just because I'm only gonna need a couple of them, and then pretty much never again. But I just need 3 Tridents, and that'll do it. I thought it'd be a fairly big patch of land, but still needs to definitely be a good bit bigger, but it's not too terrible. Yeah, so we've got like no skylight available near like the back end of it, which is great, but there needs to be a lot more. Alright, that's the area we gotta fill back in, and I need to sleep here. Here we go. Now, I highly recommend Il Mango's video explaining like the basics of it, because that's what I ended up using to make mine. So if you want the link again, I can send it to you, but that's like the go-to video for that stuff. And he's also got a separate video for like how to make a simple like chunk loader, which again is the one I was using too. But mainly, when you know, the area you want to store them in, like this whole thing should be contained in like a single chunk. And the area you want to store them in my experience, is just do not do the thing with like the twisted vine or scaffolding to force all of them to like one area without taking entity cramming damage. Just put them in like a pretty big pit and then just have them lured by like no blocks up there, because you know, you really don't want this to go wrong the first time, because it was such a pain in the ass and like almost an actual disaster trying to fix this, you know? Like seriously, it was bad. I was able to kill like 20 something of them with like suffocation, and then some of them died of entity cramming, but it took a lot of like work, and you know, I pissed them off a couple of times. They didn't shoot at me luckily, but you really don't want to risk having them shoot at you, because you know, if multiple of them shoot at you, it's just bad news and there's no blocking it. Yeah, that's good too. But it's that's actually what I did as well. But I thought the Twisted Vine thing worked, and it did work for me in creative, but then I tried it in survival, and I must have done something incorrect, and it ended up not working. So that kind of screwed me over. So it's just easier to just have them like fall into a pit, like 30-something blocks above the Shrieker, and then just keep them there, and then you build your chunk loader like 3 chunks away from where they're sitting, and then that's it. So not too bad. There we go. But also make sure to bring plenty of wool with you, and like before you start like actually running it, you know, make sure you got like plenty of escape routes too, because you know, if something does go wrong, you want to be able to get out of there as fast and as silently as possible. So Swift Sneak is good, but like having a fixed like wool path with, you know, actual wool on it makes it that much better. You don't actually have to worry about like, you know, sprint jumping or nothing to upset it. And also make all of your like hallways to actually get away only 2 blocks high, since it's, you know, 3 blocks tall and all that kind of good stuff. And don't use scaffolding or ladders to like get up to the thing if you're trying to like get up there to check on it. Use like a spiral like wool staircase, or just a wool staircase in general, because you know the ladders and scaffolding do actually make noise when you climb them, and it aggravates them pretty quickly, and it's hard to get up and down it fast. So if you aggravate them and you're stuck up there in the middle of a scaffolding thing, you're gonna die. Like you have to bail like ridiculously quick to actually be able to make it out. We've almost got this entire area filled in. I just need this section here, and then, you know, I probably don't have to fill in a whole bunch more at least, so that's good. And then I want to actually dig this out in a way too, but the mob switch is like absolutely worth it. It's just getting it can be a little bit tricky if you're not careful. You gotta be like extremely careful to not actually have to worry about dying, but yeah. Especially good for phantoms too. I don't know if it I don't think it resets if you like were to relog or anything, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Like that's one of those things you'd probably want to like turn off and then go log off, and then like when you log back in, you're like right next to it to just turn it back on if you want it. It's just a little weird, but other than that, it's still like ridiculously good for how cheap it is. Just a little dangerous, but not too dangerous. We'll cut this tip off. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, we're still in that river biome, which that's good. I'm gonna keep this up just to make sure, but hopefully once we get this patch of it sealed in, we should start to see some ground spawns, hopefully. Because they're kind of a pain in the ass to wait for. Especially waiting for some that spawn with Trident, so... Yep, out is dirt again. I think I'll just go fly back to my base and go get some of that extra stuff. Wouldn't be too long. Just need more. What do we got? There we go, it's pretty solid. I'll take both of those. It has to be a natural one, yeah. So you have to go out of your way to go find them naturally spawning, and then then you can build the whole thing around it. But if you look at the like F3 menu, if you're on Java, you've got all this information about the block you're looking at, and if you're looking at a shrieker, it'll have like this tag called can summon, and if that's true, then But mainly just like find like a new like area that you haven't been to yet, and don't ever break it. You can break all the sensors around it, and then the thing's pretty much harmless, but don't actually break the shrieker. So I broke my first shrieker just out of panic, and I forgot, wait, I can't fucking do that, oops, and then, and I had to go find another one, but it ended up working out in the end at least, but still definitely a pain if you like lose like one of your only ones in a nice area. There we go. Had that. Not off the top of my head, no. The only like tall part is that bubble elevator tube. And I want to say mine was about like 3 blocks in height. Cause I remember I like actually had them sitting down at like Y0, and then and then the shrieker was at like Y negative 33. So if I were you, I'd probably build it like at least like 35 blocks up just to be safe. Because I know there's kind of a point, right? And you'd rather overshoot it than undershoot it. But if a warden is too close to a shrieker already, then it'll just not spawn another warden. So you'd rather overshoot that number than undershoot it, I think the number is 32 is like the number to beat. Might be 24, but I'd say like building up to at least like 35 or 40 block tall bubble column would be like the best thing you could do, So if your shrieker is at like Y like negative 30, you'd want to build your platform where they would like sit on and like just stay in a box in forever. You'd want to build that box at like Y positive 5, so that way you'd have like like 35 blocks of clearance. So, but it's pretty much one of those things, like once it's done, you don't ever want to have to like change it again, like retroactively. That was the worst part for me, was actually having to go back and change it, because I got very sketchy because I didn't have any of that premeditated stuff to actually get out quicker, and it just was ridiculously unsafe. It can't be 40 blocks because I've got them at like, it might be 40 blocks. I don't know. I'll have to check, but I could have sworn it was like 32 or something. But mine's only like 33 blocks specifically. And it might be a little bit more because the platform isn't directly over the shrieker, which saved me a little bit. But I can get you the exact number here really quickly. That is caps lock. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, actually no, it's even less than I thought. Cool. So, Warden spawn from naturally generated sculk shriekers after activating them 4 times, and if there isn't another Warden within 24 blocks of the shrieker. So your thing has to be at least like 24, 25 blocks tall. I would just do 30 or 32 at that point, but if you're on Java Edition, it's 24. And if you're on Bedrock, I'm guessing it's the same thing as well, because they're not specifying that there's a difference between Bedrock and Java. So yeah, you need to clear out a large space around the shrieker, and then also like have that tube go up like at least like 25 blocks that they can sit in. That's probably why mine isn't working either, because or my catalyst farm isn't working, because I think they're like just close enough to like be able to do stuff. Like if they were just like another like 6 blocks away, if that tube was like 6 blocks taller, then it would have been a different story. But they're too close for my farm, unfortunately, so I can't have a catalyst farm and a warden farm in the same area right now. I'd have to go make a whole separate one again, which kind of stinks, but it's not too hard to build. It doesn't take a lot of resources, and now that I made all the mistakes the first time, I should know not to make them again the second time, hopefully. I really hope. But always build the, I would always build the mob switch first, so that one you're going to get a lot more mileage out of compared to the catalyst. Especially because now the catalyst only drops like 5 XP instead of 20, so it doesn't really give you any XP anymore. Like the only reason you'd want to farm catalyst is for like, you know, just decoration. Because you only need a couple of them for like everything else too. Got a whole like raid or patrol out here. I should probably go stop. Let's see. I don't have a I don't have anything cool on me, do I? I've got this water bucket. Can I get a bucket of milk? If I can go find a cow, I'll just go kill all these pillagers really quickly. Alright, a cow. Cool. Incredible. You're dead. Alright, that should mostly do it for the for what I need here. I think the last big thing is just covering up like the sides, for example. Just so that we don't get any light in here, but I don't know. I feel like I should already be seeing like something, but I'm just not, unfortunately, so which just wasn't so damn tedious. Yep, the only way to get tridents is through drowned, and they have to be naturally generated. You can't convert them. That used to be a thing on Bedrock, but not even a thing there anymore. But they're just like a pain in the ass to get a hold of. I still need 3 of them. And I'll have to also go buy like a ton of the books as well from the trading hall. But I want to say I need a guy that sells impaling, but I'm not 100% on that. I know I've got a channeling book, and I've got that Riptide 3 book. So we only really need like loyalty is like the big one, honestly. And then impaling as well. I don't need impaling because it's just good for like aquatic mobs, but it's really good for like guardians and just kind of to have, honestly. I don't mind it. If this ends up not doing me any good, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. Mainly because, too, this costs a lot of dirt, and then also it's just an absolute eyesore, so don't want to have to keep this around if I don't need it, you know? I'm pretty sure this will work. Alright, so this whole thing is sealed. And if I'm lucky, I should just be able to, like, fly up a good bit. And then since this is pretty much, like, the only, like, dark spot in the entire world, I should just be able to, farm them fairly easy or get them to spawn a lot more. But then again, who knows? I certainly do not, unfortunately. Another thing too is if I'm lucky, there's gonna be like a dripstone cave under here or something, but because they're supposed to spawn a lot more in there. God, I really don't want to build a trident farm, but you know I might have to. There's a fairly solid chance I'm gonna have to. Oh, see, no, we've already got one, so maybe it's not too bad. Oh, hopefully it's not too bad. I'm also gonna maybe, like, seal this off here. Give me a second. There we go. So the noisemaker is like what? 2 observers, a sticky piston, which technically you could use like some regular pistons, but 2 observers, a sticky piston, a lever, and just like a note block. But basically, you just have like 2 observers with their like faces facing into each other, so they like keep activating each other. And then you have like the sticky piston going into an observer to like move it back and forth. So you know, it doesn't like, you know, so you can turn it on and off whenever you want to. And then it just feeds into a note block. I can probably even go show you if I still have the materials on me, but I want to say I put them all away. I put too much of them. Got a observer. I'd have to go get more, but it's not too bad to make. I gotta start doing more redstone stuff again. Seriously, these fucking drowned, man, they're gonna give me so many issues, aren't they? Ow. There's a good chance I'm gonna make like a land bridge that kind of like arches, so you could still walk to either side, but most part would be pretty good. Oh, sweet. And basically, you want one of those on the like platform where they all spawn on to lure them towards that bubble elevator, and then you want another one at the very top in that like pit where you're gonna keep all of them there, because they actually have to be actively going towards the sound to you know, to not despawn, or not to not despawn, but you want them going towards the sound regardless, so make sure to do that. You just need to make a second one at the top is all. Alright, yep, this is definitely 100% going to be a pain in my ass, and this isn't going to work either, so... other option is go to the old mesa and hope for the best there. There's a pretty big river biome out by my old mesa at world spawn that I could probably use. But otherwise, this is gonna stink. But seriously, it is such a pain in the ass to, like, you know... It's just a pain in the ass to get a hold of tridents. Even when I was, like, out hunting for nautilus shells, it was still somehow better, which shouldn't even have really been possible, but it was, unfortunately. I really don't want to have to build a trident farm for it, because it's just a bunch of water at, like, the top of the world, pretty much, but... It's just tedious. Extremely tedious, and I don't want to do it. Good have enough fireworks, good electro durability, yeah. Oh wait, I can't fly for this one anyways, I gotta actually like swim there. Not swim. Taking the ice boat road for this. There we go. Be more or less good. And we still have a ton of hostile mobs. So the mob switch is actually off. I just wasn't getting any lucky with drown spawned, unfortunately. Oh, going this way. I just want to keep an eye on if we're in a river biome or not. And then adjust accordingly if we're not in one. Which we are. And the drowned we're looking for, we can't just, we can't convert them from, like, zombies into, drowned or nothing. They have to, like, be the ones that, like, naturally spawn, like, in, like, the ocean or rivers or anything like that. Like, this guy, I couldn't just convert to a zombie and then into a drowned. It'd have to be one from the very start, unfortunately. There's a small pain. Well, I know of a dripstone cave out in this mesa. I kind of wish I found one like close to my house or something, but there's a dripstone cave here that's like submerged in water I might be able to use, but otherwise I've got nothing, honestly. Like, we're here in this river, but there's like, what, one drowned there? Like, that's it so far? I should be using my smite sword, honestly, right now, but I don't really care at the moment. It's only it's a 2-hit instead of a 1-hit, like big whoop right now, you know? It don't matter. Not gonna do me any good. Unless there's just something that summons them out of, you know, thin air. This is gonna take quite a while, so... I want to get at least one today, you know? I mean, seriously, I put this off for so long, and I keep talking about how I want it, and I just don't actually do anything to go get it, because it's a pain in the ass. And there's not a lot else I want to do right now, because I'm still trying to avoid working on that island for a while. I might as well actually get some use out of this. Like, see, here's a couple of drowned again, but neither of them have any tridents, so they're not really worth anything. There's some more in the back still, but they don't have any either. And oh wow, they gave me some copper, like big whoop, you know. I don't even use copper. I don't think I've literally only used it for like lightning rods, and I have like 7 of them. Not to mention I still have like a stack of like raw copper blocks anyway, so it don't even matter. There's one with a fishing rod down there, it looks like. That's even rarer to spot than one with a trident, so that's cool. Basically, the best strategy I kind of have right now. Is that a trident? What the hell? I heard some kind of like clink, but I guess it was nothing. But yeah, the best strat I have right now is basically just swimming up and down this like mesa river, and it's usually like long enough that you'll get like a drowned by the time you get to one end, and then you can go back through the other end as well to go get some more. Because otherwise, I literally have nothing that I can really do to speed this up or to get it more consistent. Not without making stuff, at least. And I really don't want to make a farm for this, like I've said. But, like, here's that dripstone cave, for example, that I was talking about, right? I'm still in a river, now I'm in a badlands, and now I'm in a dripstone cave, so I should be getting a larger influx of them down here more than anywhere else, but actually getting that is kind of tricky. Because, nothing's down here at all. Like, the glow lichen's not even really stopping them from spawning either, they just do not want to spawn. It's a pretty small dripstone cave. It's still a dripstone cave, it's just small, but it's gotta be at least something. I'll swim back the other way. See, here's a much bigger dripstone cave, but is there even anything in here? The answer is no. And it's turning daytime, that's great. Man, this is gonna take forever. Oh, good. But basically, don't forget to add in like a little counter too. That'll count how many pass for you. So like right in front of the bubble elevator, just put a pressure plate, and then then there's like a solid block on top of the pressure plate, and then under that solid block, there's like a dropper that shoots like 70 items into a hopper, like one at a time. It's pretty good. But yeah, you're gonna want that counter because you don't want to have to count them manually. So, because it is a pain, let me tell you. Because if you miscount, like you can overshoot it a little bit. You really don't want to undershoot it, but you can overshoot it. But if you overshoot it too much, you're gonna like unnecessarily like lag your PC like very bad. So better if you don't. There are no fucking drowned. There's none. Not it. Oh, one. Incredible. But yeah, good. Okay, we got a glow squid, I guess. That's neat. Otherwise, I'm still not seeing anything of importance down here. Oh, I'm just gonna start swimming through the ocean, hoping for the best, honestly. That's about all I can do. No trident again. Like, see, here's another massive dripstone cave, but is there going to be anything in here? Probably not, once again. Oh, I think there actually is a dripstone cave, like, right next to my house, too. Oh, here's an actual big one. Hang on, this one might be a little bit better. We're gonna just try looking around here. I've got my chest plate on, all my normal armor. We'll give this a shot here, but I doubt it's gonna be any better, honestly. I think because I still need to spawn in the water too. And they can't be converts, they have to be naturally spawning. I also need to turn hostile creatures back up. Got one drown down there. Oh, in fact, there's still not even anything around. Like, yeah, there's some zombies, probably because of like the reinforcement mechanic or whatever, but otherwise, it's just kind of nothing. Don't really lead anywhere, don't lead to any good spots, it's just kind of there. I could probably just like flood one of those things too, like massively with like a ton of water, but that's about all I can think of. Still near the old beacon. Oh shoot, we got one with the trident. Ow. Jackass, you didn't give nothing. Not cool, dude. Yep, we got some rotten flesh and a copper ingot. I guess we also got some of the tridents that he threw, but nothing, unfortunately. Just 3. That's all I'm looking for is just 3 tridents. I really should build a trident farm for it, but all I'm looking for is just 3 tridents, because I just want one with loyalty 3 and all the other trident enchants. You know, one with Riptide 3, and then I want one with loyalty 3 and channeling. So that's pretty much all I'm looking for, honestly. Here's one with a Nautilus shell. Of course he drops it. I don't even need Nautilus shells anymore. I have extra Heart of the Sea, so I don't mind it. You know, I could always use the extra conduits, but they're not really too useful for me, unfortunately. That was the only one with a trident that I've seen so far. It was just the one. There haven't been any extra. And I know there are like drown farms and all that, because it's literally just like a big body of water, and that's pretty much it, honestly. So that's all you really need. But you just find like a nice wide river biome, and you build like a large like straight body of water way up in the sky. And you just wait till nighttime, which that's fine, but again, don't really want to do. I don't know if it needs to be all like source blocks of water too, because if it's just flowing water, then I could probably just give it a shot, but if it has to all be source blocks, and it's not going to go too well. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Hang on. Give me a second. We're just gonna go use some of this grass to make some like simple like scaffolding, and then we're just gonna, or hell, I could actually probably use the scaffolding to make scaffolding. Spoiler alert! But we'll just go fill up a bunch of buckets of water, and then we'll just go do some other stuff with it. But basically, all it is just a bunch of water in the river, and then that's all I really need. The chunk loader is in a separate video too, which I can get you the link for here really quickly. It's a little bit weird to explain. It's another like really easy thing to do as well, because it's just a couple of droppers, like 2 hoppers, 2 droppers, an observer, an iron trap door, and like a comparator and a piece of redstone. So it's like barely anything. The weird part is just making sure your portals are still synced up correctly, but And this one's by El Mango, so if you want like more specifics, and it's something you can literally just like pause at like the correct time and like look at it. He doesn't like, as far as I remember, he doesn't go like block by block to like build it or nothing. But it's like so simple, you could probably just like get a screenshot at the right time and like figure out how to do it from that, because there's like barely anything to it. The weirdest part is just making sure everything is like aligned in a single chunk, or just not building it incorrectly, which it really ain't too hard. Now I gotta find a river I'm not gonna really give a shit about, because this one I do care about because it's actually like near one that I use. So we're probably just gonna pick like this one here, for example, and just basically like flood it with water all the way up to the top of the Badlands. Yeah, 31's good. You can also like as a proof of concept, just like spawn them in with like a like spawn egg as well. But honestly, it is usually easier just to like count it, to like let it do its thing. But we're gonna just build a massive. I guess I need to actually go up to do this, but all I'm really gonna do up here is basically we're just gonna scaffold across with some like cobblestone and just flood the side of it with water. So we're just basically making one big waterfall, and then through the middle we'll make like another beam of blocks. And then we'll try and like make it all waterlogged, or not waterlogged, we'll try and make as much of it as source blocks as possible. But I don't know how good that's gonna go. What kind of fucking bullshit is this? What the hell? That makes it stop being a source block, that's a shame. Just starting a hardcore world. Any tips? The earliest part of it is the hardest part, so take it like really safe and like slow at the start. And, basically once you get a hold of a bed, just sleep whenever it's nighttime, honestly. Outside of that, I wouldn't take the hardcore world too seriously, like there's no real stakes in it until two things happen, in my opinion. Basically, you get a simple trading hall going, and you also get a simple like blaze spawner farm going. So that way you've got steady experience, and then you'll be able to farm like every single type of like protection enchantment like really easy with the villagers. So basically, just find a village, lock them all away, and then go to the Nether and try and get a blaze spawner and convert it into a farm for experience, and then you're pretty much set, honestly. Because then you can also make like weakness potions, with the blaze rods, all that kind of stuff, and then you can like cure a bunch of cartographers and librarians for like very big discounts on like glass panes and all that kind of stuff too. So it's really easy. The hardest part after a point is just not getting bored, but the earliest part is like the hardest. So just go to bed early. Get some simple like diamond gear for some easy like villager trades, and honestly you're pretty much good to go. And thank you for the follow, collector, appreciate it. But it's not really too bad, and seems to have worked out for me pretty well. I'm on day 1371, about to be 1372, so it's pretty good. But just don't make bad decisions. That's pretty much the only other like easy thing you can do, is just not make any like particularly bad decisions. Like if you're in a nether fortress, for example, because I went to my first nether fortress with like iron gear at the time, and they almost killed me because I got hit by a wither skeleton twice. So between the damage they do and the wither effect, it dropped me to like 1.5 hearts from full health. And that almost was it, but luckily it didn't kill me, and I got a hold of that blaze spawner, turned it into a simple little blaze farm, and then I had a villager trading hall I worked for like immediately, and then that was pretty much all I needed, honestly, to get going. That's pretty good. Not too bad. Oh, damn. 2 years is very impressive, honestly. That sucks, but if you don't mind me asking, what did you guys die to? I mean, was it just like a creeper or something you weren't expecting? Because even at that point, you should be able to just like have good armor to just live any kind of creeper explosion. So, and especially if you have like totems too from like a raid farm, like there's not really a lot that can kill you with like a bunch of totems and like a bunch of good gear, you know. Or not quick enough to where you don't know to not run away from it. And that's another thing too. If there's like really big danger, just run. Just run immediately. Put a new totem if you're on it and you're offhand if it already broke, and then just leave. You know, just go eat a golden apple maybe. Go put that new totem in. Make sure all your armor's on, and then you're pretty much just good. Like like recently I almost died to the Ender Dragon because I was trying to fight it 20 separate times to go unlock all the end gateways, and I zoned out. And on my 5th dragon, I kept walking into it with my elytra on instead of a chest plate, and it was already doing a lot of damage anyway, so broke one of my totems. That snapped me out of being bored. So I just ran away, put a new totem on my offhand immediately, and then put my chest plate on too, and then just ate a golden apple and recovered my health, and then I went back to fighting it, but got it really close. But yeah, what's your idea, Bean? There we go. I think I've almost got enough of the water. I have no idea if this is going to work the way I'm thinking to. So this might just be like a total dud, by the way. But as long as it's at least something, I guess it doesn't really matter. But I'm just trying to flood this whole like river in this mesa biome because I want to try and spawn a bunch of drowned with it. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't think it's going to work because there's still probably a little bit that needs to be done, but as long as it's something, I'll take what I can get at this point. Here we go. No. Not doing that. I still have way too much stuff to build. I might if I like actually do end up finishing up like all that building stuff, but you know, I really don't want to, because if I fight the Warden, I'm gonna want to like fight it like head on. I'm not just gonna like sit up like 30 blocks where it can't shoot you and then just like bow spam it. I don't want to do that, but you know, to actually be able to out tank all the damage it gives, you gotta like, you know, have some chance of golden apples. But no, I just like building right now, you know, like getting all these extra farms. Like I'll probably go to an entirely different area and kind of do like a soft restart, but to get all my stuff back, I'm probably not going to fight the Warden for, because I really don't want to fight it for a while. I still have way too much stuff I want to do. Ah, dang. See, that's why you carry multiple. I always carry at least 4. I used to carry like 6, I think, because I like filled the top 5 with totems, and then I had like the 6th one in my offhand. But the dragon popped my totem, so all I did was just, you know, put a new one like right in my, you know, offhand, and then I like went away to go heal. But yeah, that's really unfortunate to like dying from a creeper like that. You fall into a ravine. But you've had to have had feather falling, right? Like if you have like full prot 4 and like feather falling, you can live like 100 something block drop. I mean, like, damn, did you fall into like dripstone or something, or is it just that big of a ravine? That's a lot. Like seriously, that's a lot. But I play like overly cautious, which is why I'm not gonna fight the Warden for a while, because I really want to keep building some cool stuff, and I'll probably fight it one day. It's still not even a guarantee, but I do want to fight it. I just don't want to do it for a long time. Is my main problem. Just not really worth it. You know, you get catalyst out of it, you get to flex and say that you killed a Warden, but you know, I could technically go kill one right now by like shooting it to death with a bow from like really far away, but that's not fun either, you know? I mean, hell, Bean, if I really wanted to, all I would have to do is go find, like, a deep dark, go spawn a Warden, and then just, like, have like a 30 block pillar. Like I just lured into a pit with like some like note block stuff, and I just shoot it from up high with like a bow and like a couple stacks of arrows without like even enchanting it or nothing. Like, I could kill it without armor, but I'm not gonna try that at all because, you know, there's no reason to. Like you can cheese the thing really easy if it's just a warden kill is all, but it's just kind of lame. You don't build the chunk loader right next to the you don't build it right next to the wardens. You build it 3 chunks away from the wardens. So you build it based off of where the wardens are going to be, like in that big box, not the actual spawner, just where they are sitting in that box. And you build the chunk loader like 3 chunks away. You don't have to technically like build it 3 chunks away, but supposedly it puts them in these kind of like lazy chunks, so it makes it a lot easier for your computer to handle, which is what I did anyways here. So, but yeah, basically just build it like 3 chunks away from the chunk that actually is gonna hold all like 70 wardens, which usually it'll be the same chunk where the actual like farm is. So, you know, just kind of keep that in mind too. Like the one that I actually have is in the same chunk. Like the wardens that are sitting there are also in the same chunk as the actual machine that like spawns them. But otherwise, it's just you know, the chunk loader is 3 chunks away, and then that's literally all you gotta do. You could also probably make a like catalyst one as well, but that one you'd have to do a little bit differently and make sure it's not too close. But farming the warden's not too difficult either. Like to farm the warden, you literally just build the exact same thing, but instead of going to like a large room, they just go into a bunch of mine carts, and that's literally all you'd have to do to farm it. And then they just die to like entity cramming. Now, if I like break if I break a cobblestone, do these like flow into each other? And they don't count as a source block, so it's not quite the same. I have no idea if this is gonna work how I'm thinking or not, but knowing my luck, I doubt it. Now, the only other big thing that needs to happen too is I need to like make it significantly wider. So what I can do is get some like extra dirt from here or something, and basically just go under like by like a layer, right? Do a little something like this basically, and then just, you know, turn everything into source blocks from there. Well, it shouldn't technically be impossible, it's just going to be a pain in the... I think they still spawn in flowing water, but I'm not 100% on that, so I'll find out the hard way, I guess. And if they don't spawn in flowing water, again, it's not too big of a deal. I can just use kelp to make it all in the source blocks, but I just didn't want to have to do that because it's going to take a long time to place all of it by hand if you're not careful. But it should be okay. It's still just flowing downwards, which, you know, I don't think is an issue, but it might be, so who knows. I mean, hell, is there even anything, like, down here at the bottom at all that spawned? Like, anything? Got any kind of, drowned? Don't look like it. Shit, this is probably a bus, isn't it? Why is that 3 of them? What the hell? That's kind of cursed. If I can get out of here, though. Well, we'll probably come back to this in the morning part, because I still actually need to go out and like look for friends, mainly. Like, see, like here, we have like a drowned here, but it's not gonna be enough. Do nothing with. I don't have a trident, so I don't even get a chance to like fish for it or nothing, but like, yeah, like we got a wall of water, cool, but you know, I don't exactly get anything out of this, unfortunately. Come on, man. There we go. Like, there's no drowned in here at all. There's, like, nothing. It's a shame, too. I think I might just have to go suck it up and just go build that ground farm, honestly. I'll look into doing that next time, but I'll do that another day. That's a shame. I really wanted to get that done today, you know? It's 3 tridents, it's all I really needed, but they're that much of a pain in the ass to where you really kind of can't without building a dedicated farm for it, unfortunately. They just suck, you know? Like, there's no drowned. Like, we've only seen 1 drowned with a trident so far. Like, that's been it, you know? There's been nothing else. Like, you'd think there'd at least be, like, something else, but there's just not. There's nothing. For no reason. Like, I can't even get 1 extra. Of course, it's the only way to get them, too, and they're actually useful. Mainly, it's the lightning that I really like out of them. You also need it for, like, a couple of other achievements, too, but I know you've got, like, lightning rods now for, like, if you need, like, lightning on demand and there's a thunderstorm, that's your other option, too, but, you know, they're still very good for, just doing shit, honestly. Actually, for, like, charge creepers or something, too. Yeah, it's probably source blocks, isn't it? Oh, drown swims. Where? Where, bitch? Where did that fucking come from? Well, he's gotta be clonking me from somewhere. We'll probably enable hitboxes so I can actually go see this. So F3, is it F3B? Yep. Coming from this direction. Here he is. Jackass. Go to hell. Why? He drops none yet again. That's rotten flesh. Still rotten flesh. Cool. Why? I'd even settle for one at the moment, you know? I just want something. They just do not like showing up at all, you know? It's a shame, too. Yep, there's nothing. Alrighty, well, we're gonna actually go build like a real ground farm probably next time. All it is basically is just a flying machine that like duplicates like waters. Not really duplicating, but you know, like if you put two water sources like away from each other, they make like a new one and it's like infinite. It's literally just that, but with a flying machine over like a massive area. That's all we're really looking to do. Also, there should be my old Shulker box up here. I still need to actually do it. Do I have the ender chest? Yes, I do. Alrighty. Don't really need anything else, I guess, but just a shame this ended up working out like this. Alright, can I please put on the right thing, not like a water bucket? Alrighty. Might have shot in the wrong way. It should be coming up on it. There it is. Yeah, there's the portal. So we found two drowned with Trident after that whole night, and neither of them dropped it, so it was effectively nothing. It's a shame. Next time we'll build an actual Trident farm, I guess. I already know which one I will be using. It'll be by the one by like Ian Axifer in case anyone's interested. But luckily, it's really simple to do, so it won't take too long to build or anything. I just didn't want to have to do it. But I guess what we'll do is we'll make some use out of it at least. We'll go to that part of the mesa that I was already at, and we'll continue it there. But mainly we'll just have it in that mesa, and then we'll turn it kind of into like a dam, you know. It'll just be like a massive block of water, and since those things are so tall too, we can, you know, make dams and levees and all that kind of stuff. So at least it kind of fits, but realistically, I would never ever do that because it's so far out of the way and it's a one-time thing that I don't have to decorate it. But I probably should think about it at least just for my own sake. But, you know, that's honestly enough for today. It's been like, what, 3 hours by now? And all I've done is a big load of, not a lot, just kind of took it easy today. So we moved that chunk loader, ended up not working out, to also power a catalyst farm. And outside of that, I reorganized my chest at least. Actually, no, there is that. That's actually pretty useful. But otherwise, there really hasn't been a lot going on right now, so yeah, it's gonna have to do it for me, honestly. So we're currently on day 1373, and yeah, it's been pretty fun. So we'll build that drowned farm tomorrow and hopefully get some better stuff, but that's gonna have to do it. So thank you everybody for watching, and hopefully I get a hold of those tridents tomorrow. And either way, I'll see you all then. So goodbye for now.